Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. When I first decided I was going to move abroad, I had so many people saying, "What about school? You're doing this alone. How are you going to be able to afford it? You're going to be so far away from your family and medical." And I just didn't listen to them. And I did it. I made that leap, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. And I'm making this video because I really want to share some tips that will help you prepare for your move abroad as a single mom. Listen, as a single mom, we already have it hard. We're raising our kids by ourselves. We don't have the best support system sometimes, and that's okay. Just because you don't have an immediate support system does not mean you won't have a support system while you live abroad. So if you're thinking about moving abroad as a single mom, it's totally possible you can do this. Grab a pen and notebook and write down these 9 tips I'm going to give you. I've been there. I've done that. I moved abroad as a single mom in 2021 with my daughter, Mackenzie, and our 2 fur babies. First things first, if this is your first time here, my name is Heather Courtney, and I have been living abroad since 2021. Collectively, I lived abroad for 6 years. So I have lived in Japan, I have lived in Mexico, I have lived in Portugal, which I'm in between now, and also Belgium. And it has been a fun experience of building community, not sure what I'm doing, having so many emotions, and it's still one of the best decisions I've ever done in my life. So, step 1, you are going to want to know, what is your why? Why do you want to move abroad? Is it because you want a safer environment for your children? Is it for job opportunities? Is it just for a peace of mind? What is your why? Now, if you don't know your why right now, that's totally fine. It's something you could think about, but no answer is silly. So my why was, I was depressed in America. My mental health was declining fast. I had health issues, and mentally, physically, and emotionally, I was just not happy at all. So I noticed that when I traveled outside of America, that my mental health was elevated. My health issues were not as strong as my flare-ups, and I was happier. I was seeing that people were thriving, living abroad, going through everyday life, and I wanted that in my life. When you know your why, your reasoning for wanting to move abroad, that's what's going to keep you focused. When you ever feel uncertain of anything, you can always reflect back to your paper that you are writing your why on right now, just to keep you focused, just a reminder to keep pushing forward towards your goal. Okay, so step 2, research your destination. Don't research the best things to do in Mexico, how to find hidden gems in Costa Rica, the best place to eat in Portugal. These are not things that you want to be looking for, because when you move, you're not moving as a tourist. You're going to be moving as a local. So you need to possibly look in, what are the best countries that are safe for Black women? What are the best countries that have a lower cost of income? What are the best countries where the US dollar stretches far, especially for those that are on a budget? These are things that you want to be able to look up. Also, for those that are unsure, I have created a PDF that has over 130 Black and Brown communities out there. It's the only place that you can find this list. And it could be a place that you can start off with, depending on the continent. I have it broken down from all the continents, all the different Black and Brown groups out there, expat family groups, Black groups, they're all on there. So it is a great starting place. Also, for the single moms that are watching this video, I just created a Facebook group, which is called Melanin Moms Abroad. Get your families and let's go. And you can join that group, and you will be able to connect with other moms that might be in similar situations, or other seasoned moms that are already abroad. And it's just a place where you can talk and get through things. I know there are a bunch of other groups out there that are Black sit, that are expat groups, but none really focus just on Black and Brown moms. There are just about expat communities all over the world. Maybe not as many in smaller areas, but any of the major cities, you're always going to find an expat community. Also, some of the questions that you might want to ask are, how does the country treat their Black and Brown citizens, things you want to worry about, things that you want to ask. Some other important things are, what does the healthcare system look like? For those who have health issues like myself, you want to make sure you're going to a country that can support your current health needs. Also, same thing for schooling. What type of schooling is available for your child in these countries that you're moving to? One tip I can give you is check out YouTube and bloggers. There are so many good blogs out there about life abroad as a Black and Brown mom. There are so many YouTubers out there that are making great content right now on life abroad with their children, definitely check them out. You can easily search YouTube, Black families abroad, or any Google search engine. I feel like this next tip is really important, and it's step 3. Get your money right. We are not going to be moving abroad broke, not having any financial savings, not having anything. That is probably like the worst thing you can do for yourself is planning to move abroad and not have a backup plan. When I moved to Portugal, I ended up spending $16,000 in the first year just to get settled. That's not including rent. That's not including groceries. That's just like buying furniture, daily things that we need. And it was not something that I accounted for. I didn't even have a budget. I just, I had money for my house sale, but I didn't think, to have a budget. But you don't know how much you're going to be spending. You could be spending less than that. But most important, you need to find a way right now how to start saving money. You need to cut out going to the club, buying alcohol, shopping on Amazon every 5 minutes, ordering out, anything that's not a necessity, you need to just start cutting out right now. If you have Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, MGM, Peacock, Tubi, whatever all these other streaming websites are, take one, keep one, and then the rest get rid of and save your money. Right now is a great way to start a savings plan as well, even if you're putting $25 every paycheck or $50 or $200, whatever you're able to afford. This is what you should be doing now. Also, look into passive income. There's different ways. I know people do DoorDash. People are selling courses, making ebooks. YouTube is another way to have some type of passive income come in. But you should always be looking for ways to make a little bit of extra money on the side if your budget is already very small and you have the time. Some startup costs that you'll need money for are flights, temporary housing, food, visa costs, unexpected costs. You never know what might come up. You might have to fly back to the US, or you might have to put 4 or 5 months rent up or 2 months rent, whatever the case may be. You always want to make sure that you do have a backup plan. If you already have a tight budget, look into countries that the cost of living is much lower, such as Mexico, Thailand, Ghana. I mean, these are just a few, but there's so many other ones out there where your US dollar can stretch far. Step 4, look into your child's education. As a mom, we're not trying to move abroad and not having a clear idea about where our child can go to school, if they can go to the school, and what are our options for schooling. Some questions you want to ask are, what are the private schools like? Public schools? Are there international schools where you're going? Is homeschooling legal there? Are there people homeschooling? Is there a community for homeschoolers? Are there schools that know how to uplift Black and brown children? These are things that you might want to Google, ask other moms who are currently living abroad or have lived abroad in a city or country of your choice. One important thing is, will your child have to learn the language? Yes, we know learning languages can be very difficult as Americans. We are not privileged like other countries to speak 3 or 4 languages. I know for my daughter, when I put her back into the school system, when we moved to Portugal, she went to a Portuguese private school. It was all in Portuguese. All her lessons, all her teachers, none of them really spoke English. Some of the kids did speak some English, but it was challenging for my daughter, coming from only knowing a little bit of Spanish, English, and now getting thrown into European Portuguese school where the language you're in a new country, now you're having to learn a new language and learn school. So it can be a lot. So definitely these are things that are really important. Along with her having to learn Portuguese in school and having her private tutor through the school, she was the only American in the school. So it does make things a little bit difficult, even though we were living in Lisbon or she's living in Lisbon. Being the only American in school, can cause maybe isolation issues of your child, or maybe they want to have other friends that speak English and understand the language. So these are things that you should check into. Step 5, build a support system before you go. This is something that's also very important. And I remember when I moved to Mexico, Merida, and I went down there, I knew a few people, maybe 1 or 2 people there. But I started to connect with other moms online, right around the time I moved, right before I moved. And when I got down there, it was great because we met up twice a week at the park meetups. And then we hung out, and then we did glamping. We traveled to Costa Rica and Mexico City. And it was great. It was a great thing. Even though Mackenzie was a little bit older, one of the moms had two older kids that were Mackenzie's age, and they're friends till this day right now. But you want to start building this community. You don't want to go down there to any country and then not know anyone. You never know when you might need someone for anything. You never know, what your child might be going through, knowing that they don't have any friends or they don't know anyone. And it's really a really, really great idea to reach out on Facebook groups. I know Reddit has a community. I know there's so many other communities out there, apps that you can use. You can Instagram too. I don't know if Clubhouse is still a thing, but at the time people were on Clubhouse and talking to other moms and everything. So definitely build your community. Another thing that's good about building your community before you get to wherever you're relocating to or wanting to relocate to is that they have seen it all. They've been through it already. They're boots on ground. They have experienced the housing drama, culture shock, homesickness, and even fake friends. I've been through it. I share my experience all the time, but having the network that I have has made everything so much smoother. For example, there was a time when we moved to Portugal. In the first flat we were in, we had only been in Portugal less than a month. And we were on the first floor, which is the second floor compared in America. But anyway, so we would leave the windows cracked a little open. Because we were like, no one can climb up in the windows or anything like that. Like they would have to be sitting on top of a car or maybe put a trash can up. But even so, the car is not even close enough to the window. But there was a guy that had made his way halfway through my daughter's bedroom window in the middle of the night. And it was a traumatic experience for her. It was for both of us. But the community came through for me and my daughter. Like the next day, the day after, we ended up leaving that place. We stayed in a hotel for 2 months waiting to move into our new flat. But the community came and got our stuff. Some people took their stuff to our house. People cooked for us. People provided support. There was another woman who collected my plants, which I definitely never got those plants back from her. But that's what the community does. They show up. These are people that I literally just met, maybe talked to a few of them online, maybe met them out and about. But this is why community does matter when you're living abroad. Step 6 is handle your legal stuff. It's very, very important to make sure all your legal paperwork is in order. From visas to passports, to health insurance, all your documents, just documents need to be in order. Make sure you make copies of these documents. And it's really important to not only have a copy of these documents, also have an electronic copy of these documents. I like to have my documents on my iCloud account. You can give access to your friends, family, anyone that's close to you that in the event of emergency, they have access to these documents. Or if you need them right away and you don't have them on hand, you are able to access these documents electronically from anywhere in the world. The last thing you want to do is to be out needing a document and you don't have it. These are reasons why the internet is so amazing and electronic cloud drives are even more better. Now, don't forget with your passports, you at least need to have 6 months remaining on them. If your passports are about to expire within 6 months, definitely take care of that. If not, wait till you're abroad and do your passport stuff. I feel like those who have renewed their passports while they are abroad got theirs back much faster than those that were renewing theirs in the States. Make sure you have the right visa, whether it's a student visa, a work visa, a residency visa. Make sure you're applying for the right visa and do your research. Health insurance is really important. I know that a lot of countries want you to have health insurance when you apply for the visa, but once you get into the country, normally insurance is much more cheaper and you actually will have a plan to see private doctors. In Mexico, I did not have insurance. I believe my doctor's visits were $40 or 800 pesos. And I didn't need to have insurance. In Portugal, I pay $20 a month or 20 euros a month for private health insurance. And my copays are only 35 euros. So it really depends on what country that you're in or wanting to relocate to. Most importantly, make sure your child custody paperwork is up to date. If you have child custody and it does not mention anything about moving abroad or any of that sort, that's fine. Mine did not whatsoever. So I ended up typing up a document to my daughter's biological father saying that, he gives us permission to move abroad and we can relocate anywhere we want to. You can doctor it up the way you want to doctor it up, whatever wording you feel is necessary and get them to sign it. My situation was not as easy because life, and maybe I'll do another video on that. But for those that have know my struggle with being on the child kidnapping list, down to finally getting a passport, finally to trying to get to Portugal, but not able to get to Portugal because a biological dad made it so difficult for us. But it's not hard. There's a group I admin for called like my YouTube channel name, Unconventional Itinerary for Moms. And there are a lot of women in there, single moms, who have gone through the process that can give support and help as well. I'll put that link as well in the description for those who would like to join that Facebook group. Step 7, prepare your child. Now, I find that a lot of people want to move abroad, but I don't ever see discussions on how they want to prepare their child at all. I think from what I've been seeing, it's like, oh, I'm moving abroad. I'm bringing my kids. We want to be safe. Yes, that's cool, fine, and dandy. But what about your child having a say in it? They're about to leave their family, their friends, an environment they may have only known. You don't know what they're going through. So what I did with Mackenzie was we had looked things up on the internet. We looked up videos, Instagram, YouTube, kind of like, to get her excited about moving. And I believe that really did help. Helping your kid and preparing them adjust before, during, and after the move is very crucial. I see it sometimes where parents are posting, my kid hates it here. They didn't want to move. And it's just like, well, did you prepare them? Did you, have like an expectation, try to make things fun or anything like that? I know every kid is different, but some kids love the idea of moving abroad. Some kids don't like it at all. They're used to being able to go to Chick-fil-A all the time, get a job at 16, rip around the streets with their friends, that they've been in school with since kindergarten. And it's just not like that when you move abroad sometimes. So some tips that are helpful is just talk to your kids, depending on how old they are, make sure it's age appropriate. The conversation you'll be having with a 12-year-old is not the conversation you'll be having with a 5-year-old. Get them excited. You can create a travel book or a moving abroad book. I had a friend get this sticker printout, photo printout. So everywhere they would go, they would take a picture, put it in their little notebook, and then write about it. It could be something like that. Tell your child to bring something that will remind them of home, whether it's a blanket, a toy, souvenir from a favorite trip you went to. Being able to bring something from home helps when you are homesick a little bit, especially for kids. Let them say goodbye to their family and friends. Plan a going away party, something where all their friends can come out, and maybe suggest, hey, download WhatsApp. This is the way we can stay in contact. We can FaceTime maybe once a week. I know Mackenzie has a friend named Lissy, and I know for their birthdays, they send each other little gifts in the mail and they talk. And I believe that was one of Mackenzie's first friends when we lived in Florida. So it's really nice to see that they still are in contact. And even one of Mackenzie's first friends when we moved to Mexico, she just came out to Portugal about a month ago, and they enjoyed time together. They spent time together. So we never know how long relationships are going to last for when we're traveling with our kids, but we want to be able to make sure that the environment is as close to home as possible. Now, once you arrive in your new location, make sure you're walking the streets, seeing what's around, maybe doing some meetups. You don't want to be stuck in a house all day. And that's why it's really important that you connect with other moms and communities before you get there. So when you get there, you'll be able to know where to go, what to do, when's the next event. There's always events or something happening for you and your child to meet other families. This will also help them feel less isolated while they're in a foreign country. Step 8, prepare for a culture shock. Listen, so the first few weeks, months, days, hours, minutes that you're in a new country, it's a complete culture shock. You're going to have moments of, wow, I love it here. I can't believe it. Best decision of my life. And it can easily go down to, wow, what have I done? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. It's a completely normal feeling. I have felt it. I know other women have felt it. And it's just being in a new environment where things are totally different than your home country or in America. Just remember that you're not running from anything or anybody. You're just running towards a better life. So make sure you give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself, your child, as you're adjusting in this new environment, country, city. It can be really exciting and be really frightening at the same time. But taking each day by day can go far. All right, step 9, stay connected to home. Just because you move abroad does not mean that you're cut off from the rest of the world. You won't ever hear from your family again, your friends, work colleagues. The internet is too far and wide for us not to be connected. Some suggestions, just schedule calls or just say, hey, every Friday I'm going to call, or even just sending text messages. There are people that, I don't talk to as often, but I do send a text, to family, friends, and that's how we keep in contact. One of the things that I think is important to have is an app called WhatsApp, and install it on your phone before you leave. Send it to family and friends and say, hey, if you want to contact me, this is the best way. WhatsApp. Everyone abroad is using WhatsApp. You can start group chats on Instagram. There's so many different ways to stay connected, but don't move abroad and then just forget about everyone back home. So with that being said, moving abroad as a single mom is a huge step, but you can do it. It's totally doable. I've done it. So many other single moms have done it and moved abroad and are extremely happy that they made that leap. Remember, you deserve to live the life that you dream of, not only for yourself, but also for your children. You deserve peace, opportunity, and a better quality of life. And if you are not having those things in America, then it's totally fine for you wanting to leave and relocate somewhere else where you can have those things. I know it's a lot. I know this video was kind of longer than my usual ones, but I'm living proof that it's possible. Anything that I've wanted for myself and my child, I've gone out and made it happen. Whether it's backpacking through Southeast Asia, moving abroad, unschooling, world schooling, the sky's the limit. Being prepared can transform your move from stressful to empowering, especially when you're surrounded by like-minded individuals like other moms. So if you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button at the bottom of the page. Also, I want to know in the comments section where your dream location is or where you're currently located. Maybe some people are in the same country and it would be nice for you two to connect. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.